Okay, so we just got the Pokemon Direct and all that stuff. So this is just me going over what I think about what they just showed us. The Terra Raid bosses are kind of meh anymore because all the Pokemon they're showing us are Pokemon we can already catch regularly. So while they are still a bit of a challenge, the entire appeal of the Terra Raid bosses was that they were Pokemon you couldn't normally catch in the game, such as Mewtwo when they first introduced Charizard, and so forth, especially with like when they did the Hisuian ones. So with it being Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard again, it kind of falls flat. Like, it's fun for the challenge, but there's no real appeal of catching them because we can already catch them now. I'm not really into Pokemon Go anymore, but I do like the concept of them like going side and side with something with the anime. That's kind of like a unique spin on it. I didn't really catch too much what they were trying to do, but trying to like work it together is kind of interesting. I was not really a fan of Pokemon Sleep, but I guess bringing legendary Pokemon into that is kind of a big deal for it. Again, I'm not too familiar with that one, and I've never been a fan of the Cafe remix either. Now, I want to get into Pokemon Masters, but again, just like with everything going on, I'm not really too familiar with it. But they're introducing Silver, which Silver is already a tough opponent, and from my understanding, Pokemon Masters is like, I'm trying to think how to word this right, but Pokemon Masters is it like a battle simulator thing but it still has a story to it? Because if it is, and they introduce Silver, that means that they're bringing one of the toughest opponents that Pokemon has ever introduced, which is kind of interesting. Pokemon Unite just feels flat to me anymore. I know I'm like talking bad about these stuff, but I don't know. But they're bringing 3 Pokemon in to Pokemon Unite, but I just can't get into that. I've tried it like 1 or 2 rounds, and it's not for me. Now, the last 2 things they've introduced in this Direct are things I'm really looking forward to. So the TCG mobile app, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, I'm looking forward to see how they're going to do that, because I've always been saying, like, for this entire year, that the TCG needs to have its own video game, because they haven't had a video game for it since like the Game Boy days. And with the TCG being as popular as it is, it would only make sense to have a game for it. So I thought they were going to do something for the Switch, like here's a Pokemon Trading Card game for the Switch. But them doing a mobile app is kind of more an interesting take on how they're going to do it, because they are doing the whole here's cards you can collect and here's where you can actually battle and you can trade and stuff too. So that's going to be something interesting to see how they do that. Pokemon Legends Z, I'm looking forward to it. It's just that caught me so off guard, because I thought if they were going to do a Legends game, they would have done Pokemon Legends Keldeo. You go for like the Gen 5 lore, you would still deal with the original dragon from that story, but you would have Keldeo as like your riding Pokemon essentially, and you see how it becomes a sword of justice. I'm still looking forward to Legend Z, because we're going to be getting Megas. It's just going to be interesting how they're going to do, say, like, Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon and Mega Rayquaza. Even though that was technically Hoenn, it still takes place during Mega Evolution. And will we get new megas? Will we get a lot of all the returning mega Pokemon? Because Beedrill can mega evolve in Pokemon Omega Ruby, but not in X and Y. Same for Pidgeot, Slowbro. There's a good handful of Pokemon that only evolve in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So are they going to be able to mega evolve in this game? Will we get new mega Pokemon? But the one I'm really concerned with, not even concerned, just curious, is will we get to see the Great Pokemon War? That is what I really want to see out of this game. Because if you've ever played X and Y, you know that there was the Great War, and that's when AZ created the ultimate weapon, which ended up causing Mega Evolution. Will we see what that war for AZ was like? Because then we're going to get a really heartfelt story on AZ's Floette, because AZ made that ultimate weapon to not heal but cure his Floette. So we're going to see a Floette in its dying state. And then we're going to see Floette leave AZ because of what the weapon did. That is going to be so interesting to see. And I cannot wait to see what that is going to be like. And the fact that we have to wait a whole year at least makes me feel so good about it. Because then they're going to be working on this game for another year. Maybe closer to 2, depending on when they release the game. But now it's just making me think, like, are we not going to get a Gen 5 remake? Like, are they just skipping Gen 5 altogether? Because they've always done the remake of the Gen 1 with Fire Red Leaf Green, then Heart Gold Soul Silver for Gen 2, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire for Gen 3, then they just did BDSP for Gen 4. So logically there would be the Gen 5, but there's no Gen 5. I mean, unless they're counting this DLC as part of the Gen 5 continuation story, but even then, that's not right. So are they skipping Gen 5 remakes altogether and we're just going right to Gen 6? Like, that is going to be very interesting to see. But I'm looking forward to the stuff they announced. But let me know what you guys thought about the Direct, because I'm really interested to see what everyone has to say about this. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.